International Felting School Online Presence. Felt Fur Hat with Olga Shulyak. Video Tutorial, English version. Part 1. Meet Olga Shulyak, fashion designer from Ukraine. She will show us how to make such beautiful hats. These hats are similar, but each one is one of a kind. They all have a pompon. I will show you in part 10 how to make such a pompon. Let's look at these hats. I have used different raw fleece to make them. This hat is made from Romney fleece. This one, beret-like, is made from Shetland fleece. It has a doubling as almost all my hats. And this hat is also made from Shetland. It also has an inner doubling, but the shape is different. The hat is more straight and narrower. This hat has a brim instead of inner doubling. This hat is made from Shetland. It is beret-like. I used natural colors of the Shetland fleece. Of course, you may dye your fleece, or you may dye the hat after felting. This hat is more sport style, also Shetland. This hat is made from alpaca fleece. The base was white merino, 18 microns. Here, the base was white sliver from New Zealand. Here I have used merino wool from New Zealand as a base. But let's talk about fleece. What makes these hats so different? Different templates, different layout, different basic merino wool, different fleece. Which fleece is good for these hats? First, forget about local meat and milk races, Texel, Drenthe, Scotty, and so on. They are great for home decoration items and sculptures. For hats, we use only fine wool, fineness less than 22, 23 micron. Second, I choose the fine fleece with a moderate staple length and nice crimp structure. These two parameters give us beautiful surface structure from velvet to fur. Important. Always think about scratchy effect of the wool. Make samples. The most beautiful hat costs nothing if it's itchy. It is better to take hogget wool from most races, especially for British sheep. I found several great suppliers. List is in the handout. Try to find good local suppliers and stay with them. Fleece. Today we will work with this beautiful Shetland fleece. I receive it from New Zealand. It is not felted. It is the best quality of the fleece. Sometimes fleece comes as single staples. It is also okay. This part is outer part, and this is the inner part. Of course, we can work also with all the sheep races. I always make such samples. This one is Shetland. I'm always asking my supplier for a Shetland fleece with curly locks and relatively short staples. This is a Gotland fleece from New Zealand, soft and fluffy. Important. Gotland fleece from England or Germany is completely different from the same race, but New Zealand fleece. It's because of the climate. New Zealand ones give nice and soft surface structure, while northern fleece from adult sheep is scratchy. If you definitively want to use it for hats, it's better to plan a lining in advance. Sometimes I use a couple of Wensleydale locks. It gives nice volume and contrast. I made me a hat from Romney lamb fleece. Staples are very short, approximately 4 centimeters. Basically, I start with the fleece and then look for a special layout and basic merino wool for it. Here you can see adult Romney fleece from New Zealand. It is easier to work if the fleece represents a whole piece and the staples are connected. I rip or pull a piece of fleece and lay it out. It's very fast, but it is no problem. I work also with single staples. If you have got a Shetland fleece which is flat and have no crimp, it is not very good for a hat, but you can make a gorgeous dress or sweatshirt like this. See? It is nice and soft. I'm in love with Shetland and we will work with Shetland today. Basic merino wool and other materials. Merino tops from New Zealand. I like it, but you may use different fine merino tops or sliver as a base. Try to use 18 to 19 micron fineness. We'll talk about color combinations later. Today we will work with this merino wool from New Zealand. Let's make an overview of all the materials we will need. We would need bowls and buckets. We will need also towels. Synthetic netting. I am always using bubble wrap. Then soap. I am using this neutral dishwashing liquid and type of Massey soap. Ball brow sprinklers. I will also use these viscose fibers, but you can also take bamboo fibers. A scale. Hat block or working head, or you can use your own head. Measuring tape, scissors, eventually sewing utensils. For the template, permanent markers which are stable on plastic surface. Of course, calculator, Scotch tape. Materials for the template, I prefer stable polyethylene, like thicker garbage bags. Great, we collected the materials and we go to part 2, making a template.